I hereby conclude we in here. Of course, you got the American flag, the black American flag on this nice charcoal t-shirt. I had this shirt for a few years, man. We talking again about gym goers and those who are just starting the journey, because this is the countdown or the count up to January 1st. Here we go. Now, this is applicable at all times. So, no matter when you see this, it applies. No matter which year, which season you're going into the new year, it does apply. Now, the last time we talked about being mindful of the exercises you're doing and the body parts they are supposed to hit. This time, we're talking about time management. Here's the thing, guys. Everybody has a gym membership. Nobody owns the gym, but we all have to share the space. So, that means that somebody's probably on the next machine you have to get on, but somebody's probably also needing to get on the machine that you're on right now. Now, taking your time does not mean sit on the machine, watching a movie, taking all day. I was at the gym last month, and there was a guy I needed the machine he was on. Now, he just so happened to get done with the machine. Actually, I was going to say he got done when I needed it. He didn't. He set up on the machine. And then he was taking a while. Then he did a set. And then he took another long while. Now, this particular gym had two similar machines, but the one he was on was the one that I always use. It's the one that I wanted to get on. I couldn't because he was on it, but the other option was okay, so I wasn't really tripping on it all like that. But there's only two, so luckily when I got done with the previous exercise, somebody was getting done with that one, and when I was getting off of there, somebody actually wanted to work in. This guy was on that machine before I got to it. Somebody asked to work in, and then he finally got done, and that person did one set with me, and then they went on and they used the machine. But I looked and he was watching a movie. So he took extra long because he's watching a movie on his phone. So he's sitting down for several minutes watching a movie and then doing his next set. So he's sitting down, watching the movie, eventually doing a set, watching the movie, getting up, making some adjustments, watching the movie, doing a set. Guys, please don't do this. The movie can wait until after the gym. I'm just letting you know, it can wait until after. Or, what you can do is, not get on the machine, or maybe get up and back up and signal that, hey, someone's free to work in. Now, what I will say is this. If someone asks to work in with you on a machine, it's part of gym etiquette that as long as you're not plate loaded equipment and the strength discrepancy is so great to where you're going to be moving around a whole bunch of plates, or I don't know, you're not doing a bunch of supersets and this person is going to be too slow and in your way, let them work in. Like pin loaded / selectorized, let them work in. You just switch the pin. Just let them work in. If you're going to be taking long or whatever, because we all have to share the space. Now, if you work in with someone, don't invite other people to work in because you're working in. They're on the machine technically. They're letting you into their workout space. Don't start inviting a bunch of people in. Don't you start watching movies, taking all day, because that's rude. Okay? And if you're working in with someone and it's a plate loaded machine, do the weight that they're doing. Or if you have to add some weight, be quick. Put it on, take it off. Sometimes if you have a partner or you know the person you're working in with, y'all can negotiate that. But if it's like a stranger or something, dude, either do the weight that they're doing or just politely wait. Some of you guys are adverse to working in. You're saying, oh, well, I don't want to do that. This is my machine. I have it. But here's the thing. Some of y'all have bad etiquette in life. And you don't care that you have bad etiquette in life. But this isn't the gym etiquette video. This is the video about sharing the space. So, if you know you don't care about etiquette, realize that when you need a machine at some point, you also will not be allowed to work in. Even if the coach lets people work in, people at the gym remember you, and they'll tell you no, because that's how you treat the other members. So if we facilitate sharing, letting people into the space, that's what it will be. And if you're new to the gym, somebody asks you to work in, they're not being rude. Or if they ask you how many sets you have left, they're not being passive aggressive. They just want to know. Because if you say, oh, I have 1 set left, I may wait. Oh, I have 2 sets left. Well, based on how long it takes you to get into that next set and done with it, maybe I just need to go somewhere else first and then come back. That's fine. But don't take things so personally. Can I work in? It might be that's the last thing they need to do. They need to get out. They just want to, you're not going to be doing anything but resting anyways. So when you're resting, they could be going. And if you work in with someone, they say yes, be ready to go. Be ready to go. Don't start slowing down people's workouts. That's also rude, okay? Now, when you go to the gym, I always say take a notebook to track your workouts because it's faster to flip than to scroll through all kinds of dates and try to see what exercise you did. Now your phone's going off. Now you got a notification. Now you're distracted. Some of y'all don't like pen and paper. Some of y'all write terribly and y'all write slow. I don't know why you write so slow, but it's okay. Maybe you're one of these kids that your whole educational experience has been on an iPad. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Pre-game it. When you go your first time in the gym, you have no data. That's fine. But after you do your set, while you're resting, set's done. Take out the phone, take out the notebook, put in what you did, how many reps, which set number it was, put it away, get your thoughts back because we got to focus on the muscle group we're hitting. Do your next set. Don't sit there, rest, get your breath back, get ready to do the next set, and then take out the phone or the notebook to write. You're taking extra time. What a lot of people don't realize is when you take a minute in between each set to do stuff, like a free time, like non-useful, you wasting time, that's another potential 2 to 3 sets you could have been ahead by the time you finish with that one exercise. You could actually, on one exercise, spend 2 to 2.5 exercises worth of time. And remember, we all have to share the space. So that means that somebody probably did 2 exercises, came back, you're still on the machine. And you're messing up people's exercise order. Maybe you're messing up just the flow of things. You may be messing yourself up because the machine you needed was open. It took so long, now it's not. Now there's a line because the dude that was waiting for your machine went over to the next one. Let's be mindful of the time. Also, so you can get in and get out. And if you do need to wait, you have time to wait because, let's face it, everyone's not going to watch this video. Also, know what you're doing when you get to the gym. If it's your first day or your first week, you may not know. But that's why I said in the last video, try to find you some kind of plan for a baseline to get started. But know what you're going to do. You get there a little early if you need to so you can take a little tour. See what they actually have in the gym. I don't like the guided tours. I never do that because the person give them the tour, they usually don't know what they're talking about. They just point at me, say, hey, we got this here, we got that there. You don't see it. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know what brand is that? What version is that? You can't really do the inspection in what you want to do and really piece together how you want the session to look. Get there a little bit early. Don't wait until it's on and cracking. If you know when the gym is crowded or your gym has a crowd meter, maybe you can go ahead and get there when it's less crowded, or get there while it's because it does this. Y'all forget. in addition to everything else, I've worked in gyms. I know that you'll be surprised when it's crowded and when it's not, some of you guys. Get there when it's crowded, but it's about to dip. So you can do all your sightseeing, and right when it dips and people are leaving, you start exercise. If you're able. If you're able. All right? So first and foremost, don't take on. When you sit down on a machine, track, as soon as your rest time starts, immediately put in your data into your phone or your notebook. I recommend notebooks, but if you find yourself getting distracted by the phone, use a notebook. Do that. Your rest period, just because you utilize it. So when you're done and it's time to jump into the exercise, you can do your next set. Okay? Also, don't be in there watching movies. Be mindful other people need the machine that you're on. Be nice. Let people work in, and don't take advantage of anybody else when you're working in. Okay? And use some common sense. This one, and this is one that happened to me, was yesterday. Yeah, I'm at the gym. Girl gets to the machine. She gets to the machine. She sits on the machine, pulls out her phone. Keep in mind, the machine she's on is the next machine that I need. Now, this gym has like 3 or 4 everything except for 2 or 3 machines. This is one of the machines I only have 2 of. And she's sitting on the machine, and that's the machine I need to get on next. But she sits there for 2.5 minutes. It was probably 3, but I'm gonna give her 2.5 because I didn't immediately look at the clock. I looked at the clock after waiting for a while. And she didn't even start her set. She's on Instagram or whatever. She's checking messages. Looked like she was watching some stuff. She never got started. She did not get started. Now, if you understand 2.5 minutes, you could be done with an exercise in 2.5 minutes. So, or almost done. So we get done. Of course, she's not done. And the other machine that was originally available that we could have gone to, somebody took it in that time because there's only 2 of them. So, okay. And somebody was on it when she first sat down, and then they got up, and then this other person saw it. So, yeah. And I was mentioning that, Planet Fitness needs to have a lunk alarm for situations like that. When somebody just comes, sits on a machine, doesn't do anything. Now, we're right next to each other, right? So, I'm talking to my wife. I'm not really saying it in a rude way. I'm just saying it. I'm just talking to her. But I know she can hear me. Partly because also other things she was responding to other things I was saying in the conversation, because I was telling my wife there were other machines that we could go to for other stuff that were valid for the workout, and she was like looking around. So she can hear enough at least. But once I said that, she really started. But then she committed to send from the first video. She was rushing and she was not targeting the muscle. So not only did you make us wait, you missed the muscle. Then she went to do some cardio. But here's something. I did say this to my wife also, that I didn't consider that she could be new to the gym. She could have just been starting off because she seemed kind of young. So what would I have done if I had considered that earlier? Probably nothing, because you can't really talk to young girls at the gym once you reach a certain age, unless they know you or have interacted. Like, not right off the bat, because they don't know how to act. They think you're either creepy or they're not sure, or like they're scared if they're that nervous type, because once you get so old, like so much older than them. I mean, some people already like that, but when there's like an age difference, they really get like that. And it might have actually been worse to directly say, hey, when you come in, it might be a good idea to get started first, or, you new, because whatever. You try to be nice, and then it intimidates them. Because this person seems like they may be a little shy already. So that's another thing. I'm not going to say keep your comments to yourself, but if it's egregious enough, say something. But if it's not that big of a deal, but don't be rude. Like, I wasn't complaining and putting her down, because even if she had headphones on, she's one of the few people that wears headphones, but she can still hear. which y'all need to do for safety. Never have your headphones too loud to where you can't hear. So, but the point of that is just, if you're new, you go to the gym, be mindful. Have your stuff set up, and if it's not set up, forget about it. Don't sit down on a machine and it takes several minutes to get started. Because when you do that, you're hogging the machine for longer periods of time. If you're not ready, do not occupy the machine. I know you pay your membership like everyone else, but everyone pays. Everyone has to share the space. It's like going home in your bathroom and just sitting there not doing nothing, hogging the bathroom up. And if somebody really got to go, and you're like, well, I'm in here, and you're not doing nothing. You're just standing there, kind of like I'm doing now. But don't do that, guys. Please do not do that. Be cognizant of other people just like they should be cognizant of you. Be mindful, okay? So that's it for this video. I know it's a little bit long, and y'all don't like long form videos because I used to TikToks and all that. But today's video, be mindful of your time. Be prepared when you go so that when you go, you know what you're doing. If you need extra time, go a little bit earlier. Scope out the space. On your rest time, as soon as you get done with your set, whatever you're using to record your results, put it in there, put it away, get your mind back reoriented to the next set, do that set, and record it right away. And when you get done, here's the thing, because some people record at the end. If your memory's like that, if you're going to do that, do not stand at the machine while you record that, all your information, because you're still taking up, people are waiting for the machine, now you're taking it up for another minute because you're doing all the stuff you should have been doing throughout the exercise. So just be mindful, because, some of y'all are douchebags, I already know that, but don't be. Mindfulness begets mindfulness, and if we have a good gym culture, it benefits everybody. Thank you, and how you gonna act?